flip over.
Yeah.
You're like, keep the clock down, so take it out of bounds. Basically, those kind of decisions. Or so he'll say to the offensive coordinator, like, take the ball out of bounds. So all the plays that they then call are going to be near the edges of the field, so that he can quickly nip out.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean. So those kind of things, and there's more than that, obviously, but like that's an integral part of the game. That if you're also calling all of the plays and worrying about who's on the pitch, who's not on the pitch, that kind of stuff, it can get messy. So yeah, I totally get that. Just makes sense. Delegate.
Yeah, exactly. So Hawks, have you? I don't want to spoil the result. Have you caught up? Like,
I have. Yes, I have.
Not a great evening.
No, it wasn't. I kind of feel the same. It's obviously maybe not as. I feel like they found Russell out a little bit. Not found him out because he's like one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but
yeah.
Our offensive line that never gives them enough time to sort of just sit in the pocket and throw has been working to our advantage for so long now, because people basically, they go for the sack, but because they're running after him for the sack, that means that there's at least 2 or 3 defenders, sometimes even up to 3 people chasing him, that aren't looking at the ball and looking at people that can catch the ball, basically, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it means that there's holes everywhere that he can throw to. Whereas now, what I saw with the Bills that they played last night is they didn't go to sack him. They just stand in front of him, waving their arms.
Right. Okay.
So he can't throw the ball. And then until there's one guy in front of him throwing his arms about and sort of like following him around, but they very rarely went for the actual sack,
right.
Unless like it was a very obvious like tackle. And I noticed it a couple of times, and it really threw him off. And he would throw it, he'd Hail Mary it, and interception galore.
Oh, jeez.
Or almost interceptions. So it's like, oh god, they figured it out.
Is he a good runner? Is he one of these quarterbacks
yes.
that can run it himself? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think he leads rushing yards sometimes. Last season, I think he led in rushing yards over our running backs.
Oh, okay, cool. Wow.
So he's he's really good. He's a very small quarterback, but it means he's quite quick and he's quite agile. So
yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so I'm a bit worried there hopefully that's not a trend that continues. But because I watched a few in a row today, actually, just to recap before we recorded, I watched the Cardinals game as well.
Oh, cool.
And we lost that. So they're the 2 games we lost, the Bills and the Cardinals. So we're 6-2 at the moment. So we're doing all right. We're the same as the Bills, actually, who beat us.
They were the last 2 games as well, right? You've lost 2 on the trot now.
No, so it was Cardinals, then 49ers, we won that. And then Bills.
Cool.
So, and the 49ers is the important one. Would have liked to have won against the Cardinals because they're in my division as well. But we deserve to win the Cardinals game, so I don't feel bad about that because we lost to penalties, basically. Like, our special teams, so they were just going to do a kick, get 3 points, no big deal. And our special teams, one of the guys basically fouls, and then they get a 15-yard penalty first down. Yeah. So then they score a touchdown. So we're like, okay. And then we score a winning touchdown in overtime, and some random offensive lineman starts holding down the line. We've scored a touchdown, and some random guy that has nowhere near the ball, nothing to do with the play, means we have to redo the play again, and we don't score. So it's like, we deserve to win twice, basically, because it went to overtime. So it's I don't feel too bad. I feel like we're okay. It's just the Bills did destroy us. So like, what was it, like 44-34 or something crazy like that? So like a 10-point difference. Like, offensively, everyone's good. It's just our defense just sucks a bit.
Didn't you have to catch up as well? Or something, wasn't it like 23-0? Or so, like there was a huge lead, and then you caught up a little bit, right?
Yeah. I think the highest lead they had was 14-0.
Okay. Oh.
Or maybe it was 17-0 actually, because I think they scored they scored the kick. So I think it was 17-0.
Yeah.
And we had to catch up. To be honest, so that's where the Seahawks like to be early in the game. As long as it's early, as long as we've got time. The Seahawks love to catch up. So
I love it.
Yeah, but Josh Allen though, the quarterback for the Bills, is an absolute beast.
Yeah, man, he's great.
He's so good. So I don't know.
They're
the ones to beat.
I'm sort of glad the Bills are doing well as well, just because of the sort of O.J. Simpson legacy. I'm just like, they've not done well in ages, and it's like, who did O.J. Simpson play for? Oh, the Bills. Who the hell are they? Now they're I'm glad they're back in the mix. That's cool. So once we checked in, once we got into Munich, we were a little bit thirsty, a little bit hungry. We headed straight to one of the famous beer kellers in Munich. So they're sort of famous for these big like cellar style. They're not always underground, but they always feel as if they are. They've got these big cavernous ceilings, and they've got these huge long tables, old fashioned like tablecloths on them. Everyone for the last 200 years has carved their name into these bloody tables, and then there's sort of folks walking around in lederhosen and all the Bavarian clobber, and they bring you massive steins of beer and pork. So we have a little mini report from where we were in the Hofbrauhaus. Here we go. We've made it.
We've arrived.
We're in Hofbrauhaus. Yeah. Our German's getting ever better as we attempt to say all these crazy words. We're liquored up already. We've got our first 2 litres of Hofbrauhaus original, and it's going down a treat.
Oh my god, we've got sausage and pork on its way.
Oh yeah. Extra sauerkraut.
I'm excited.
Might even throw a little a giant pretzel in there while we're at it,
Whoa. Yeah. Stop me right there, mate. Okay. Now that was a light-hearted little segment. Let's bring it down a sec.
Oh Jesus!
I think we need no. Well, I feel like we need to pay sort of homage, or we need to that's not the right word, but we need to honour someone, a fallen comrade, Sean Connery.
Oh God! I thought you were going to say someone else.
Oh really? Oh my God! He's not fallen yet. Technically, he hasn't fallen yet.
What's going on? No.
Comrade in arms has fallen. No,
he wouldn't like the word comrade either.
No, he wouldn't. Oh God.
Okay, no.
We'll talk about that later.
We're on the same page now. Yeah, of course. Sir Sean Connery, unfortunately, passed away this week. Big blow for all Bond fans. We are obviously both massive Bond fans, like most blokes, I'm sure. And big blow. He's the second Bond to go now, right? Because we lost Roger last year, and now now Sean's gone as well. I mean, everybody says he's the original and best, right? Well, a lot of people say that he's usually the favourite, isn't he, for the best Bond? I guess I
think so.
You've always got a bit of a leg up being the first one, haven't you? Because you set the bar. But we've both rewatched a lot of them recently, haven't we? And like. He's so good. I mean, he had the good fortune of being able to act out the original book stories as well, and that was in the days when they actually played by the rules. They actually made a film based on the book, not now, not like bloody all these new ones that are just made up out of thin air,
Yeah, for sure. He did have that. I mean, he was. Yeah, I'm like I say, I was actually I watched Goldfinger the night before he passed, or actually probably the night he passed away, just completely coincidental, obviously.
Wow.
But and then I found out the news the morning after, and it was really weird because I'm, as you know, I'm going through all the older films and trying to sort of really. I want to basically. The reason I'm doing it is I want to defend my claim that Brosnan is my Bond.
Oh God, you're finding flaws.
Hashtag my Bond. But the more Connery I watch, and it's more rewatching because I do feel I've watched all of them, or at least the majority of most of these films with my dad. It's just age and stuff. It was a while ago with some of them, so I get them mixed up.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's just so good, and the films are so enjoyable, and sometimes I'm laughing my head off because there's some incredibly sexist remark or slightly racist thing said, but then some of the combat in some of the early films, like the fighting, is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But genuinely, the stories are great. The acting is fantastic. The confidence he's got is just out of this world. And I say this to my partner all the time. Like, that's when he goes in there and he orders a drink or he orders some food, or it's just like, you know what, he knows what he wants at all times. It's like, yes, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy.
Oh, exactly, man. I couldn't agree more. The only thing that I wish they would have included in the opening of Goldfinger, when he's in Miami, before he's been assigned the task of sort of sorting Goldfinger out because he's been cheating, he actually meets the guy who he's been cheating. Sorry, the victim of the cheating. He meets him in an airport, doesn't he, in the book? And he basically just gets chatting to him while he's waiting for a plane. And then he manages to convince Bond to stay for a couple of days and find out if Goldfinger's cheating or not. And there's an incredible scene where he goes into some like crab shack in Miami somewhere as a guest of this bloke, and it's the most mouth-watering scene I've ever read. It's incredible. Like just the way that he talks about this crab and the butter sauce, the ice-cold champagne, and the fact that you know, this lobstery, buttery champagne is just like dribbling off his chin. Like, mate, it's incredible. I'm getting hungry just talking about it. But I would have loved to have seen Sean Connery just like chowing down on this massive plate of crab with butter all over his face.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely. I think they underestimated the appeal of those parts of the books, to be honest. The food and the drink does obviously get like a mention sometimes, and the cigars and stuff, but it's always like a very subtle thing. But I think they could have lent into it a little bit more. For me anyway, I would have loved it. But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So the day after, I watched Thunderball.
Oh, cool.
Again, fantastic film. So this is where I want to talk to you quickly about my confusion. So the opening scene where you've got the space shuttle doing like a moonwalk, not a moonwalk, but like a spacewalk. The one of the Americans sort of goes out of the space shuttle and is all like floating.
No, you're talking about You Only Live Twice, right?
Sorry, I am talking about You Only Live Twice. Sorry, I watched Thunderball after, and then I watched You Only Live Twice. Sorry, I'm getting now.
They all blend into one, don't they?
Yeah, they do. This is the problem, watching them so quickly. Only Live Twice, apologies. So that film, that opening scene where the baddie spaceship comes in, Blofeld spaceship comes in and sort of swallows up the American one. In my head, I was so certain that was the opening to Moonraker.
Yeah, the Roger Moore one.
See, exactly, which is a Roger Moore film, exactly. So, like, this is where my chronological order of these films is completely screwed up, because I've seen the majority of them, but it's been so long. So I'm glad I'm going back through and getting a better idea of it, a better grasp of it.
Well, I rewatched the Roger Moore ones just before Christmas, actually, and doing a similar sort of thing, because they've got this bad rap, especially like Octopussy and View to a Kill and Moonraker. So I thought, maybe they're not as bad as they're I've been led to believe. They're pretty darn bad. Like they're just not my vibe at all. Like I love Roger Moore as a person, but those Bond films were just so comical in places that it just ruined it a little bit. But yeah, I think there's a very similar scene actually. I don't think it's one spaceship engulfing another, but it is in space, and it starts the film almost, or it's like the first thing back after the intro song, and it's like it's a very similar scene. So I can see why you've got those two mixed up. I think they must have like harked back to the Connery film. Yeah.
So I think so it's good. I'm absolutely loving it.
Have you rewatched? Sorry, you go.
I was just going to say shout out to Thunderball now that I'm remembering what I actually seen. And like obviously scuba diving was like it was like the scuba diving fights in it are just so great and so long as well, like 20-minute long scuba diving fight sequences, and oh man, I'm absolutely loving them, and I just nice. I can't believe it's taken me this long to get all the DVDs and just go through them, but so I'm having such a good time, but I just wanted to shout them out.
Yeah, definitely. So the scuba diving scene is always one of these ones that it's like when you talk to your dad or your granddad about it, they're always like, "Oh, it's not boring, it's not long. It's because back in the day, filming underwater with people fighting while scuba diving was like not done. That wasn't something you could just CGI. Like this, that was one of the first times you'd seen that. So people must have been sitting in the cinema like." Watching this 20-minute underwater scene going, what the hell is this? Whereas now to us, we're watching it and going, yeah, this is fantastic, but can't believe it's 20 minutes, you know. Whereas they must have just been lapping it up the whole time.
Yeah,
must have been amazing.
Yeah. I kind of got it. I was like, yeah, obviously scuba diving